Yes, it's the Indy Art Show. Indy Art. Everybody. Indy Art Show. And here we are. It's Meria. Meria here from Haunted Gypsy. Hey, how are you? How you doing? Stop. Hello. And I am here. Robert is here, but Robert is hiding.
Okay, I'll be on camera.
Do you want to be on camera? Well, I have to switch cameras.
You don't have to. Next time.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I remember.
You want to be on camera? Do you want to be on Periscope? Robert's here on Periscope.
Hey.
Hey, he is here.
That works.
We are getting ready to shoot. I'm going to experiment. I'm going to experiment with cameras here. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. We've got our whole studio here. Yeah, whole studio. And let's see. We'll cut to camera D. Let's see what happens when we cut to camera D. Now you can see Robert. Yeah, Robert's here. The very shy, reticent, sometimes shy and reticent Robert is here helping out. And so we're getting ready. We've got an exciting motivational speaker today. Very exciting speaker with us. Chantele is going to motivate all of us artists. She's gonna make us sad, emotional INFP types cheer up and stop being so whiny and artsy. You know how we artists are. Come on, we're temperamental, right? So Chantele's going to speak to that. Let's find out if Chantele is ready to be on the air. Chantele, are you ready? Are you ready to be on the air? Are we ready? Let's check in. We'll just check in with Chantele here and see if she's ready to be on. Are you ready? You are? Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay. All right. So I'm going to cut down the music here. All right. Chantele, how are you today?
I am wonderful, Murray. How are you?
I'm great. We've got a little static here. I'm going to try to clear up this static. I'm going to move my computer over here a little bit. Try to get a better image of Ms. Chantele here today. So it's Chantele C. Ross, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. You got a little delay on your sound, but that's okay. You sound good. You sound good. So Chantele, you're here to motivate us. That's your job today.
That's my job.
You got your work cut out for you. We all started out in cranky moods today.
Oh, we changed that session now.
It's that 1 hour time change.
Oh, I think that affected us all.
Spring forward, right? And we lose an hour, a whole hour.
1 hour, but we're going to catch it up somehow, some way. Don't worry about it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to spring forward.
Are we going to spring forward?
In our mind. Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, let's see how we spring forward today. So, Chantele, first of all, Chantele, you are working on a book right now, and you also run a motivational group for women, right? Motivating women and encouraging women in the Buffalo, New York area, right?
That is correct.
And then you also have a Facebook group page.
I do, and the Facebook page is Queen Rise Up Women Empowerment.
Queen Rise Up.
Queen Rise Up.
Queen Rise Up Women Empowerment. Okay, awesome. And is there anything else? Are you doing a podcast also or something?
Well, this is my first podcast. I am excited about it. I'm not an expert with it, but I'll take that back. Well, in the mornings I do from 6:45 a.m. to 7 o'clock. I do 15 minutes of empowerment. Just 15 minutes just to kickstart that day, and then at 6:45 to 7 o'clock a.m. on my page, Queen Rise Up Women Empowerment, and I do that Monday through Friday.
Okay. Eastern Standard Time, right?
Eastern Standard Time, that is correct. And we just get up, kickstart that day, get it started the right way, and I do it every single day, and I get a passion and a joy out of doing it. Because I believe
It's
and
blank.
rising from the
It's
inside out and not the outside in. So, join me, please. 6:45, 7 o'clock. A fresh morning start to the day on Queen Rise Up, Women Empowerment.
Oh, so all we have to do is go on the Facebook page and you have like a live stream?
I do live every morning. Sometimes I come on a little late, but always 6:45 because life is life and things do happen. But my goal is 6:45 to 7 o'clock every morning, Monday through Friday. You can even inbox me on Queen Rise Up. We get back to our messages immediately, or you can email me at queensriseup1@gmail.com.
Awesome. That's great. That is great. So Chantele, I was wanting to ask you some questions about motivating artists in particular, just because this show is Indy Art show, so we're kind of focusing on artists, musicians, writers. I consider them all to be art forms, by the way. Actors, musicians, writers, filmmakers, dancers. I think of all these as art forms. And I think all of us artists have similar personality styles where we're very, very sensitive. I think more sensitive than most other people. But I also think that we also deal with more criticism, which is kind of a funny thing because we get more criticism because we put ourselves out there. You put your work out there and often it's very personal. You might have written a poem or a song or made a film that really has to do with your own personal life that you put out there. Like Jeanette Walls, who just wrote The Glass Castle. I just finished reading that, and that's a book about her life. It's about her childhood. So you put yourself out there, so you open yourself up to all this criticism, and yet as an artist, most of us are more sensitive than the average person. So, and so a lot of artists, I think, end up with mental health issues and drug and alcohol problems and things like that, and I believe it's partly because we're more sensitive, but I think it's also partly because we get more criticism, and I think our society is so oriented towards STEM, science and technology and math and and engineering and all the techie stuff. And when you're an artist, often you get criticized by people who say, "Why don't you get a real job? Why are you wasting your life like this? Being a creative person, it's crazy." Anyway, so I don't know if you're familiar with this, Chantele, or not, but it's something that a lot of us creative types deal with. And so, how would you motivate us? Tall order.
I think first and foremost, I believe everyone in some form is an artist. But like you said, whether it's writing, whether it's a book, whether it's an idea, whether it's sitting behind this podcast, somewhere we are artists, and in some form we are always putting ourselves out there. That means letting you inside our lives, or the artist letting you inside their lives, no matter what their lives consist of. But I believe first and foremost, the artist has to believe in themselves. You are, I want to say, we are like our first cheerleader, number one. I think being fearless and being bold and not being afraid. And understanding, too, that life will come with criticisms, but I been believing in yourself, branding yourself how you want to be accepted in a sense. Can I say that? Making sure that you are, I've been talking about lately, I've been talking about being bold and being fearless, not being afraid. Because in some form, whether we like it or not, believe it or not, we all have a sense of artistic value to us. Some are afraid to express it just because of the criticism that might be received. But you have to believe in you. You have to believe in you. What is your brand? How do you want to brand you? Not how everyone wants to brand, how everyone wants to brand you, but how do you want to be branded? How do you want to be branded? How do you want to be branded? How do you want to be marketable? And I think mental illness or mental issues doesn't just come with artists. I think it's just every parts of life, because life has its own way of dealing with life, if I can say the least. It just has its own way, but it's up to you as the artist. I think even sitting behind this podcast, this to me going on live, I think that is artistic in itself. And then you're still wondering when you speak to people, how do they see you? What do they think? But you have to get to a point where you just kind of get to the point where, like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. This is my life. And the artist should be able to express it and show it as they please. As they please. And those who want to come aboard, and those who don't, I guess, it's just not, how can I say it? I don't know if you want to interject anything on Mary, but...
Oh, yeah, you were saying such great stuff. I didn't want to stop you.
Somebody being bold, being fearless, believing in you, branding yourself, marketing yourself, just believing in you, you know what I mean? Not what others. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I think on that note, on marketing yourself and, just being branding yourself and being marketable, one thing I wanted to add about that is I think a lot of us artist types, we don't really, we're not so business oriented. We're not so much thinking about how can I market, because to market yourself is to kind of think about what other people want, like what other people are looking for, like what the person who might want to buy your work might be looking for. So there's kind of a dilemma there between how can I put this? So like saying, for example, I'm going to paint a painting about something that I feel strongly about, or I'm passionate about, or I'm going to express myself, I'm going to express my angst, my internal angst in this painting. There's a difference between that and saying, I'm going to paint something that I know people are going to want to buy, because I know Disney characters are real popular now, so I'll paint that. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference between painting from your heart, or writing from your heart, performing from your heart, and thinking about what the audience wants and branding yourself. And to brand yourself is sort of like to stereotype yourself and label yourself. And a lot of us creative types tend to run away from that because we want to be free from labels and restrictions. And so I kind of feel almost like the way we are as artists is very different from the business world and the way you have to be to succeed in business. But I wonder what your take is on that.
Well, my take, and I understand what you're saying too, even as an artist, being expressive in your own, not expressive according to the needs or the wants of people. Then you have to ask yourself, who am I trying to reach? Or are you trying to reach everyone at the same time with my artistic views?
Uh-huh.
No, it's not easy, but you have to know, I believe, as an artist, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to convey? Does it put you in a box? Sometimes it can put you in a box, and I understand that an artist don't want to be put in the box. I run into that too, because some things I want to say to capture a particular audience, but at the same time I want to capture the whole audience. Right. And so in order to do that, there's like things you cannot say that you really want to say, but you have to find a way to say it. I believe that is the key, just finding not so much what you say, but how you say it, so you still can be honest and true to who you are, without putting yourself in a box. Not what you say, how you say it. So I'm finding as an artist in my own field, I still get to say what I really, really want, but it's just how do I say it? And I think that keeps me outside of the box. Can I say that as an artist? Keeps you outside of the box.
Uh-huh.
How do you want to say it?
Yeah.
How do you want to convey it? Not that you can. It's how.
Right.
So to me, it's how, not what or how. Because if you put an artist into a box, like put them into a prison. It's like put them into a prison, locking up. I call it their crazy world. Our minds doesn't think just on an average level. We always think outside the box. We're always thinking colorful, or our mind is going faster than the norm. Whatever you want to call norm, but it's always thinking. It's always constantly planning. It's dreaming. Honestly, God He gave us those minds. He gave us those creative abilities. It's just how. And believing in you. Believing in you. Believe in you. If no one else does, who will?
Right.
Who will?
Right. And I think okay, that's a very good. So you feel that, like, as an artist, it's possible to pretty much express yourself, even if it's not what you might think is marketable, or what you're guessing isn't marketable, as long as you just say it in a way that's more palatable, or in a way that people will accept more, that won't be as offensive maybe to people, or I mean, like, okay, like as an example, I made a documentary film about homelessness called Rocky Mountain Homelessness. And I just found that when I talk to people, a lot of people really don't care about the homeless. And it's something I feel very strongly about, and I feel like I really want to change that. I really want to get people caring about the homeless and stop making assumptions about people just because they're homeless, and just assuming that they're lazy or don't want to work or whatever, and just change that. But at the same time, I don't see that as a marketable thing. I see that as something that people who have a lot of money and power maybe aren't going to like very much or aren't going to want people to hear. Now, do you think that's just my perception, that my perception's inaccurate? Or do you think that maybe, maybe there are a lot of people who actually do care about the homeless and I'm just not finding those people? Or do you think that it's just something that maybe I could change? Or I don't know. I don't even know what I'm not phrasing this question very well, but
I'm trying to catch on what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the video. I'm going to take a look at the video because people do care and lives do matter. Lives matter. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Homeless, it's just, how do I say this? Sometimes God will give the artist the vision. And it's just up to us to continue to walk it out.
Uh-huh.
Not everybody's going to accept what you see, but those who are supposed to, they will catch on with it.
Uh-huh.
So, even coming on the platform with Queen Rise Up, Women Empowerment, I was like, okay, how do I not put everything into this particular box and keep it out, or who's going to receive it? I started having questions.
Yeah.
But if you are passionate about what you're talking about, let your passion fuel your mission, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you just keep going, someone will catch you.
Right.
I don't care if you got one or two. That one or two can spread what you're spreading.
Right.
And then it's like, how are you reaching the homeless? You know what I mean? What is the olive branch that you're using to reach the masses to talk about homeless?
Right.
But those visions that he gives us, not everybody will catch them.
Right.
So you just keep running with them until the right people start to catch them. And I know for artists, sometimes it takes years.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah.
Years. And some give up.
Right.
Not everyone can catch the vision.
Right.
So I haven't looked at the video. Make sure you let me know the video. I would like to look at it as well.
Sure.
Because
thank you. Yeah.
a lot of times when even as artists, whether we're writing, we're drawing, we're actually writing out our own conviction. You know what I mean? What is it that we believe to get someone else to believe?
Right.
Something that we believe to get someone else to believe what we believe.
Right.
That is not easy.
Right. Right. You are an awesome speaker, by the way. I just want to let you know.
Well, Mary, I thank you, and I think it's just that's what's inside. You know what I mean? That it's like this drive, and it's this push, and it's this conviction, and it's this boldness and this fearlessness, and you just gotta go. You just gotta drive the car. And as an artist, it's not easy, but it's doable. It's not easy, but it's doable.
Uh-huh.
If you can just get that one to catch you, can you imagine what happens?
Right.
You want to catch you, you want to catch that one, and on and on and on. You just stay persistent and believe in what you believe in you.
Right. Right. And I think it's hard for artists to believe in themselves. Another thing, too, I wanted to touch on is that I think art is healing. It's a form of healing. It's a way that people make themselves feel better. I mean, we feel better when we look at a beautiful painting or listen to good music or watch a film that we like. I think the arts are something that just make humans feel good. And so I think that a lot of, maybe not all, but a lot of artists and creative people often come from difficult backgrounds or have been through something, and it kind of pushes them into art. At least I know that was true for me, and because I think that it's just healing. I mean, they've done studies on music. Music is healing for depression. If you sing a happy tune, it really does make you feel better. You know, they've done these studies, and sometimes I listen to isochronic tones and binaural beats. That's music. It's sound waves that are supposed to help to change your brain waves in such a way that you feel better. So it's very interesting to me how music can heal. And of course, there's music therapy and people who become music therapists. And so I was thinking about how, like, I think a lot of creative people are healers, and excuse me, oh my goodness, I hope that doesn't sound too loud on the microphone. Um, I think a lot of creative people are healers, and that there's just that healing quality in it, and I think that's linked with the sensitivity that a lot of artists have, and and just making us a little bit vulnerable too at the same time. It's sort of a strength but a weakness at the same time. You know, there's some people who can kind of go out there and start a business and all they think about is money and making a profit, and they don't care if they have to fire their employee to save money or if they have to raise their prices and people can't afford them. But us artist types, I think we're more of the type of people, generally speaking, who are going to say, you know what, if you can't afford to buy my CD, I'll give it to you for free. You know, I mean, I just think that's more of the artistic spirit, where we're more like giving in a way. We're not as, it's harder for us to just kind of think about just making money. And you know, I mean, I you know, some people will say I'm stereotyping, and I guess I am, but I do think that most artists are like that, where we just want to create our art, we feel good about it, and we don't care, as we'd like to make money off of it, but our main goal is just to bring joy into the world, or to educate people about something. Like my documentary on homelessness, which I don't ever expect to make money off of. It's just, I just really want to really have this passion to change people's minds about homelessness and poverty. And a lot of us artists are like that. We just have this passion for something, and we don't really care so much about the money. So then the money often doesn't come to us, because we're not really, if I were to focus on making money off of my documentary on homelessness, it would have to be very different. You know, I would have to try to get money from big corporations and things like that, and you know, and then I wouldn't be able to criticize big corporations, and I don't know. So you see what I kind of feel like it's a sort of a dilemma in a way. Like it's sort of, I think something our society doesn't really fully appreciate is how artists really do heal and help people on a spiritual level, and that's something that money can't really buy. Do you know what I mean? Kind of, sort of.
No, I get it. I really do. Because we give. We want to give, and we want to give because of the passion that we have about a specific thing, a person, our lives. You said something very powerful about music and words, how you just want to give. When we get up on our podcast, when I get up at 6:45 every morning, I am giving out of my passion. I'm not asking for anything. You give because you want to see healing. You want to see restoration. You want to see lives come alive. You want to see things to stir up inside that person that hasn't stirred up before. You want to wake up someone, talking about homelessness. You just want to wake them up, give them information, knowledge, and power on what's really happening. Not so much looking for a financial, tangible thing at the end of the day. And that is different with artists. That's something. And I think when you get there, you have to determine.
Sorry about the beeping.
That's okay, I'm fine. You have, as an artist, you have to determine what it is that you're going to pursue, or what it is that you're fighting. Because everyone is different. Every artist is different. Every artist want to get paid for their art. Some artists just want to give what they have. We're talking about writing a book. Eventually, I'm sure I'll make money off the book. But
Right.
But that is not my ultimate. That's not my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal, like you say, is to give it away. That they'll have something to grab onto, to change their lives, or maybe that book will change your life. That song will change your life. So we might hear this and it's yours. But we know that you give it away, it always comes back in different kinds of ways. But we're just a different kind of people.
Yeah. Right.
No, we are. We just think differently.
Yeah.
I'm just share a little piece of a testimony about this young lady who's been drawing. She's been drawing, and she's just been drawing. Her art is beautiful. So I asked her one day, I said, listen, she said, I just draw. I said, I said, have you ever thought about taking your art into a business? She was like, no. She said, I just draw. I said, well, I can see your art on the cards in the store. They can be just face cards, but empty in the inside where we can fill them in. She said, I never saw that. I says, well, if you, and I was kind of taking her mind out of just giving things away and just drawing because it's an expression. But if you do decide to make money out of that, how would you do it? What would be your game? Who, and now here we go with Brandy, because now, I don't know if our art will hit a specific people by her brand or anything like that, but her cards bring something to the table. They speak life. When she draws, they speak life.
Right.
And it is something that you will want to have, something you will want to purchase because they bring something. She didn't even realize that.
Huh.
Her art brought life to something. It reminded me of my childhood. So as an artist, if you're talking, you're speaking, you're writing a book, we do want to give it away, but what about that point where you're like, okay, maybe, because you're valuable. What am I worth at the same time?
That's a really good point. Thank you for, making such great points, because I was thinking about that too, about how artists really help people. I know it sounds funny, but when my father died, I was in incredible pain because I was really close to my dad, and I ended up watching a goofy comedy film over and over again. It was Austin Powers. And I ended up watching I watched the very first 2 Austin Powers episodes because I had those DVDs at the time, and I was watching those first 2 movies. I watched them probably 100 times, had almost the entire screenplay memorized. But it really was something that got me through the experience. I just needed something to make me laugh, something goofy and silly. And I was thinking about how the comedian, what was his name? Mike Myers. And I was thinking about how Mike Myers probably has no idea that his goofy movie, Austin Powers, would save somebody's life. Who would think that a goofy comedy movie would save somebody's life? But I mean, you never know as an artist how you might actually be able to help people and heal people. And so you might be ready to give up and think, oh, no one cares about my music or about my writing or in Robert's case, his mathematical art. But yeah, there are people really who would benefit from it and who actually would be healed from it. But it's hard sometimes because you have so many people telling you, why are you doing that? Why don't you get a real job? Get a day job. What's wrong with you? Why are you being this artist? I really feel like our society doesn't value artists enough. And we're almost out of time. We only have a minute left.
Got a minute left?
Yeah. So
I'll tell you this. You are the artist, you are valuable. If God created you with the gift, you are more valuable than you could possibly imagine. I say keep striving, keep going, don't stop. Let your passion fuel your visions. If he gave you, because we are like those little odd people, you know what I mean? But just keep going. Be fearless, be boldless, don't give up, and no one believes in you like you. You believe in you. And you'll catch the right person. And don't do whatever you do, just don't give up, don't give in. I just keep hoping, don't give up, stay persistent.
thank you, Chantele. Do you want to shout out your website again for us?
Again, that is Queen Rise Up Women Empowerment.
On Facebook.
6:45 to 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday.
Eastern Standard Time.
Encouraged and to be empowered, turning the I can't into I can. Yes.
Thank you so much, Chantele. Find her on Facebook, Queens Rise Up, Women Empowerment. Awesome. Would you come back again to be on this show sometime in the future?
I'm loving it.
Oh, me too. I really enjoy listening to you speak. You're a very good speaker. I appreciate it so much. And
Thank you for having me.
yeah, like I said, we started out the day cranky. We're not cranky anymore because Chantele was on our show. Thank you, Chantele. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much for coming to the Indy Art Show. We'll be back again soon. Thanks to everybody viewing us live on Periscope as well, and maybe on Facebook. Are we on Facebook too, live streaming? And soon to be on YouTube, youtube.com, Guitar Gorilla or Richard Wicka. Thanks to Richard Wicka Studios for doing this show for us. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and if you're an artist, don't give up. Keep going. Thanks again. This is Meria signing out.
Nice. We were very
very good